All right. Good evening, friends, again. This is Swami Prem Vivek, and good morning for the friends that are joining from India. Thank you very much for joining for this event. This event is the introduction for the program that will happen next week, which is a week-long program called Witnessing the Third Dimension. As you can see on my screen, there is some interesting picture there on the bottom of the slide. You see Kamaal. I don't know if you know about Kamaal, but Kamaal was son of Kabir. Why is Kamaal chosen for this program? You will get to know in a second. But before we dive into the program, there are some new people. So I thought I'll do a quick introduction of myself, and then we'll go into the actual part of the program. So let me advance the screen. Okay, the slide is not, okay, there you go. So friends, this is Swami Prem Vivek again. A little bit of a bio for me, an introduction for me is that I was initiated in 2001 by Madharam Jyoti at Osho Dham, New Delhi, India. That's when my Osho journey began. The journey for the spirituality had begun earlier, but Osho journey began that time. And then during that time, I was going through challenges for my career and I needed to settle myself. So I actually lost touch with sannyas, lost touch with Osho work. And from 2002, 2016, there was a long period when I was not in touch with Osho and Osho's work. So I lost connection of the master. During that time, I migrated to the United States, lived in the United States, also lived a few years in Canada as well. And I worked with a company called Deloitte that you might know. For about 9 years, worked with them. And then I worked with Accenture in IT technology field. And then my ambition took me to Harvard Business School. I did my executive MBA from Harvard Business School. And then I also started about 4 technology startup companies with my colleagues from Harvard, from UK, Singapore, Chile, India, and USA. So I was at the peak of my ambition. I was at the peak of accomplishment. And one day, something happened to me at Harvard. So I'll tell you 2 quick stories. One is the Harvard story when there was a professor who was teaching there. And as you know, Harvard classes are very much interaction oriented. So the professor would raise a question and then he would ask us to debate for and against. We had friends in Harvard from more than 50 countries in the class. And I was watching that, I was in favor of one way, and then I was watching the other friends were debating about the other side of the topic. It was so amazing to watch how logical each side was. And the argument was so powerful that when you listen to side A, you feel that is the logical way to go about the business problem. And when you listen to the side B, you feel that is the right way. And in that moment, something stuck to me. In that moment, something stuck to me that really none of those are real. Because if both of them can be right, that can't be the truth. The logic is so powerful that you could be swayed one way versus other way very, very easily. And that's how mind works. And that was one incident in my life that changed my life because I realized logic is not all. Until then, it was a chase of ambition. It was all about logic. So that is one incident that changed my life. The second incident happened, which I mentioned here, is that my father left his body in 2016, and that really gave me a blow. All of us have our loved ones and we have lived with them. But when that moment comes, it is not like somebody else has left the body. It is my own father. And those moments really turned me around. I had accomplished what I needed to accomplish in my life. And here were the two incidents that happened to me. One in Harvard about logic is not all. And the second thing is there must be something beyond that I need to seek, because I can see the live example of my father leaving the body right in front of me. That led me to look out and search for Osho meditations again. And that time I searched and I found that Swami Anandarun was coming in 2017 to Dallas. And that's when I went there. I had no idea, but there was an offer to take reinitiation because I had lost connection. Swami Anandarun gave me a new name. That's Swami Prem Vivek. And he also gave me mala and initiated. Since then, I have been connected with the Osho work. I started to meditate twice a day. I've meditated while at work, traveling nonstop. And then we bought a house here in Edison, New Jersey. And one of the prime reasons was to see a place where you have enough space so we could conduct meditation and friends could come. And it was the play of the master that I got reconnected with Swami Chaitanya Kirti in Virginia. He knew me from 2001. And I requested him to inaugurate this center. And he said, why not? And he came along, he inaugurated this center. And ever since, we have been having meditation events every weekend. When Corona wasn't there, every weekend there was a lot of 1-day meditation events, 2 days meditation event, 3 days meditation events. All of this we have been doing with Swami Anandarun, Swami Gyan Kirti, Swami Chaitanya Kirti, and many others. So that is a little bit of a background of me. So you know about the meditation center, and I'm extremely lucky that even though I got disconnected from the master, I was so lucky that after 15 years or so, master held my hand again. And that is almost a miracle, or it is a miracle, because it doesn't happen in a lifetime. Once you get disconnected from master, it could take lifetime, or it could take many lives to get back to the master, or any other Buddha to hold your hand for your own spiritual journey. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for you to join in this event, because we are going to take meditation to real life. We have done this event many times here, but you will get a taste of really taking the meditation that happens in Buddha Hall to your life. Because until and unless meditation is expanding to our very own lives, then transformation isn't happening. You can use life as the testing ground. And Osho has always said that life is the testing ground. It will prove that your meditation is working or not. I'll tell you a small anecdote just so you can relate to this. Osho describes about an incident that one sannyasi, he went to Himalayas and he was meditating there for 20 years, 30 years, and then he came back. And that time he had followers as well, and he felt like, well, I have meditated enough, I have arrived. So that was the feeling of the person. And he went to Kumbh Mela. So in Kumbh Mela, as you know, in India, millions of people gather together, millions of people, and it's very crowded. So this person who thought he has arrived was also there, and he was walking around. And in that crowd, somebody basically nudged him many times, and people just stumbled on him. And the rays came out. And the rays came out at the same rays that he had 30 years before. He was angry, really at a very, very high intensity. And he was surprised, just like people around him were surprised. He was surprised too, that where did this rays come from? I have been meditating. I thought I have arrived. And here you go, it comes back again. Osho's point is meditate, but your meditation will be tested in real life. You can meditate as much as you want, and if your life is not transformed, then it has not gone deep enough. And you know that. And once you know that, take that as a feedback from existence and go back and meditate more. Go back to witnessing, which is what we'll talk about today. Unless and until we do that, it could be an hallucination that you're meditating and you're the biggest meditator and nothing really has happened. So that is the context why we are here and what we'll talk about witnessing. But why don't we listen to Osho himself narrating this beautiful story about Kamaal, who is the son of Kabir. So this is going to be in Hindi because this is a discourse that inspired me, connected with me to create this event. So I'll play that only for 4 minutes or so, and then I will explain that in English. So it's okay, just please bear with the Hindi language. Master's voice is so sweet. So just enjoy for 4 minutes.
कबीर का एक लड़का था कमाल। कबीर बड़े त्यागी थे, बड़े विरागी थे और कमाल कुछ अजीब का लड़का था। कबीर उससे बहुत परेशान थे, गुस्से में उन्होंने कमाल को बाहर निकाल दिया था। कबीर का कहना था कि मैं अपरिग्रही हूँ, मैं घर में कोई संपत्ति नहीं रखता। और कमाल कुछ अजीब था, गांव के लोग अगर उसे कुछ दे देते तो वो लेके खड़ा है। जो लोग कबीर को भेंट करना चाहते, कबीर इनकार कर देते, बाहर कमाल बैठा रहता, उसको दे जाते तो वो ले लेता। तो कबीर ने कहा कि ये परिग्रही वृत्ति यहाँ नहीं चले, तुम्हें 10 साल हो सकते। इस झोपड़े को अपवित्र मत करो, ये सन्यासी का झोपड़ा, तुम्हारी यहाँ कोई जरूरत नहीं, तुम्हारी वृत्ति से मेरा मेल नहीं। कबीर ने अलग करके अब कमाल थोड़ी दूर जाके झोपड़ा बनाते रहने लगा। काशी के नरेश कबीर के पास कभी आते थे, मिलने आए थे। उन्होंने कबीर को कहा कि कमाल दिखाई नहीं पड़ता। कबीर ने कहा उसका नाम न ले, उससे मेरा कुछ मेल नहीं बैठता। वो कुछ बड़ी और लौकिक प्रकृति का है, जो कोई कुछ दे देता है तो ले आता है। नरेश उठ के वहां से निकले तो कमाल से भी लौट से मिलने गए, देखने के लिए कि कहां तक बात सच है। उन्होंने बहुत बहुमूल्य हीरा कमाल को भेंट किया। जाके कमाल को नमस्कार किया, वो हीरा रखा। उस कमाल ने कहा लाए भी तो एक पत्थर लाए, कुछ और लाना था तो कुछ उपयोग का भी होता। नरेश ने सोचा कि कबीर झूठ कहते होंगे, लेकिन याद तो कह रहा है हीरे को पत्थर। तो नरेश हीरे को उठा के वापस रखने लगे तो कमाल हंसा और उसने कहा फिर आप इसको पत्थर नहीं मानते, अभी दूर तक बोझ ढोया तो आप वापस बोझ क्यों ले जाते, छोड़िए कि। नरेश को बहुत चिंता हुई, मन में ख्याल हुआ कि तो बेईमान मालूम, ये तो कोई बड़ा होशियार, कुछ बातचीत में बड़ी होशियारी मालूम होती है। पहले तो इसने कहा पत्थर बड़ा त्याग दिख रहा है और अब ये कहता है कि पत्थर है तो छोड़ जाए। नरेश ने पूछा अच्छी बात है, इसे कहाँ रख दूं? तो कमाल ने कहा फिर ले जाइए, क्योंकि जब आप पूछते हैं कहाँ रख दूं, फिर आप इसको पत्थर नहीं मानते, फिर आप इसको मानते हैं इसको कोई मूल्य है, कहाँ रख दूं, तो फिर आप ले जाइए। नरेश कुछ हैरान हुआ, इस बीच को तय करना मुश्किल हो गया कि इसकी वृत्ति क्या है। फिर भी नरेश उसको उसके झोपड़े में खोद आया। सोनोली का झोपड़ा था, उसके छप्पर में हीरे को रख दिया। चलते वक्त उससे कहा कि हीरा यहाँ रखा जाता। कमाल ने कहा तुम्हारी मर्जी, लेकिन मैंने तो कहा कि हीरा है नहीं पत्थर है, और फिर भी तुम बार बार मुझे जताते हो, तुम भाई उसे ले जाओ। पत्थर समझते हो तो छोड़ जाओ, हीरा समझते हो तो ले जाओ। मैंने उसे खैर उस झोपड़े में खोद गया, चला। आगे जाते उससे वजीर ने कहा कि आपने इधर पीट करी, वहां हीरा निकाल लिया गया, क्योंकि बाहर से तो बहुत होशियार मालूम पड़ता है, बातचीत में और कोई खास बात नहीं मालूम होती। नरेश ने कहा 2-4 दिन चलेंगे, कुछ काम में हो जाना और 6 महीने बाद है। जहाँ तो उसने कमाल से पूछा कि मैं हीरा यहाँ भेंट कर गया था, वो कहाँ है? कमाल ने कहा मैंने आज तक किसी की भेंट न ली और न किसी की भेंट इनकार की। कमाल ने कहा न मैंने कभी किसी की भेंट ली और न किसी की भेंट इनकार की। भेंट लेने वाले लोग भी हैं, भेंट को इनकार करने वाले लोग भी हैं, मैं उन दोनों के बाहर। क्षमा करें, मुझे ना आप कभी कुछ दे गए, ना मैंने कभी किसी से कुछ लिया। तो आप ऐसी बात करते हैं, मैं गिरा यहाँ रख गया था इस झोपड़े के छप्पर में। कमाल ने कहा, अगर कोई ना ले गया हो तो छप्पर में होगा, कोई ले गया हो तो मेरा कोई जमा नहीं। नरेश ने सोचा जिसने निकाल लिया है आप इसे की दे। वो जाते वक्त उसने झोपड़े को देखा, वो हैरान हुआ, हीरा वहां मौजूद, वो हीरा वहीं से मेरा था।
Osho narrates this beautiful story of Kamaal. Kamaal was son of Kabir, and Kabir was someone who is in Hindi called aparigrahi, meaning somebody who does not take gifts of others. Somebody that is more like a tyagi in Hindi, called a tyagi, somebody who doesn't take things, leaves things. And the opposite of tyagi in Hindi is called bhogi, meaning somebody who is always wanting to enjoy life. So it's in two-dimensional. Either you are somebody that doesn't want to enjoy life at all, or somebody wants to enjoy life a lot, right? So Kabir was somebody that was ascetic in that sense. So when people used to come and see Kabir and try to give him a gift, he would not accept. But when they go out, Kamaal would be sitting outside the house and they would offer Kamaal, and Kamaal would happily take them. So he was not very happy with that behavior because he thought, I'm an ascetic. How come my son is accepting things that he should not be accepting from others? So he got really angry and he threw him out of house. So Kamaal went outside. He found a small place right outside, built a hut, and that's where he started to live. One fine day, the king of Kashi came, and Kashi is a very famous place in India, very holy place. So king of Kashi came and visited Kabir. Had a chat, and then he asked, where is Kamaal? I don't see him around. So he said, don't ask about him. I'm not very happy about him, and here's how the behavior of Kamaal is, which made me really annoyed. So he doesn't live here anymore, so don't talk about him. So the king was interested. He wanted to find out really what Kamaal is and what's his behavior, what is the pattern of his behavior. So he went to Kamaal's hut. He said, Namaskar. He saluted him and then talked about a few things. And then he wanted to really test him. So what he did is the king gave him a very expensive diamond, and he wanted to see what is the reaction. Kamaal said, why did you bring this stone to me? He said, why did you bring this stone to me? It's a diamond. He knows it is diamond, but he's saying, why did you bring this stone to me? You could have brought something else that would have been useful. Why did you bring this stone? Now the king is starting to think, wow, this person is actually not like what Kabir was saying. He's treating the diamond as stone. So he must not be the way I was thinking about. Then Kamaal, then the king started to take that. He said, okay, I'll take it. Then Kamaal replied, I said, oh, so you don't think this is a stone? If it's stone, you could have just left it. You carried this burden for so long, you brought it here. Why are you taking the burden to take it away from here? Then king started to think, wow, okay, so that's my thinking about this person is now changing. Now he's starting to suspect. The king said, okay, where shall I keep it then? Right? If you think I should be taking it, where shall I keep it? Kamaal replied, I see, you don't think this is a stone. Again, he says, because you're trying to keep it somewhere, that means it's valuable, it's not stone. Then he says, okay, then take it away with you. And the king was very confused. because he doesn't know what this person is. But he decided to place the diamond on the top of the Kamaal's hut on the roof. And I said, okay, forget about it. Let's just keep it there. I'll come back in a few days. And this person must have taken that, and then I will know what is his pattern. But he got really busy with his work, and he comes back only after 6 months to check what happened to the diamond. So the king returned, and then he said to Kamaal, so what happened to the diamond that I kept? And Kamaal says, I neither accept gift from anyone, nor I deny them. I repeat that. He says, I neither accept gift from anyone, nor I deny them. There are people who accept gifts, and there are people who deny them. I am beyond both of them. That is the sutra. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's why I've highlighted that he says, I'm not an acceptor, neither am a denier. I'm beyond both. That is the constituent of 3 dimensions. So let's see that a little bit more in detail. So in the first dimension, he's saying, I neither accept gift from anyone. Keep that in mind. And then he says, I nor deny them any gift from anyone. So he's talking about both dimensions in which the mind swings. There are no one human being that is always in the dimension 1 or dimension 2. That is not how it works. The mind is always swinging from left to right, from one dimension to another. In one occasion, the mind will say, ah, I like it. I want to have it. And then in other occasions says, I hate it. That is how the mind works, but they are all working from one end to the other end. It's positive to negative. So in those 2 dimensions. What Kamaal was saying, that I'm actually beyond both the dimensions. I'm neither an acceptor nor a denier. That is the middle point, or you can call it 3rd dimension, which does not exist in the same plane. And that is the witnessing part. Let's understand that a little bit more. So in the first dimension, when you identify yourself as an acceptor, somebody gave you a gift, very expensive gift, and you feel that you are an acceptor and you want that, it will create happiness. If somebody gives you something and you don't want that, it is going to create unhappiness, right? Somebody gives you grief, obviously you're unhappy. But in both cases, you are an acceptor in first dimension. The other side of the 2nd dimension is that you are a denier. So you are identifying yourself as a denier. Something that you deny and you really didn't want it, you become happy because now you didn't have it, you didn't want it anyway. Something that you deny, but it was something that you actually desired, it will create unhappiness. So that's how the mind works in both the dimensions. But in the 3rd dimension, Osho says, there is no identification. So we are not identifying either as an acceptor in the mind, I'm an acceptor, right? That feeling isn't there. Or you are not the one who's denier. So the I doesn't exist there. I'm not identifying myself in either dimensions. And that is the state of witnessing. And this is what we will try in a real life, not in theory, in real life. Because unless you bring that to real life, it will not make sense. And even if it makes sense, it is intellectual. That's all. A little bit more how this play works. I hope that this will help you as we do the experiment in our own life. This picture will help you. So something happens. So this morning, for example, I had to repair my car. So I called up somebody and I said, do you have space? Like, do you have many cars or do you have no cars? You can come and get it repaired. And usually we would say, I don't have many people, or I have less people, come over. This time he replied in a manner that I didn't like. And in that moment, what happened? Something had happened in the outside world, but there was something happening in my mind, and my thoughts and feelings were, I hate it. How does he talk to me like that? That is the second dimension in which my mind, thoughts, and the feelings were working out. And then I was annoyed. And then I was like, I'm not going to go there anymore, right? Now I'm starting to create an action. This was in the mind. It didn't happen in reality, but this was happening in mind. That's how the thoughts and feelings, after they get associated with first dimension or second dimension, then you take action. Little bit later, I think Osho set it up for me today because I wanted to give this example. A little bit later, he calls me up and he says, listen, there are no other people. Why don't you come over now? And you know what happened? I went to first dimension. I said, aha, I like it. This guy is good. I need to go there and get it done anyway. So then my first dimension kicked in. I took the action. I went there. I repaired the car and I came back. So all of that was happening in the first dimension or in the second dimension. The dimension that was missing was the third dimension as a witnesser. That's exactly what we're going to do in our real life. In your own life, you're going to do that as part of this experiment for 7 days. And you don't have to do 24/7. You will do at least once, twice, however many times you can. You'll get the guidance. We'll talk about the logistics in a second. But that is exactly what you're going to do. And you're going to experiment, you're going to fail, you're going to succeed, you're going to enjoy, but you will get the knack of what witnessing really means and what happens inside you when you are a witnesser. It cannot be told in words, but you will experience for yourself what happens inside you when you are a witnesser and you're not associated with first dimension or a second dimension. The mind is not there. You are simply a witnesser. That's what we'll experiment. So let me talk a little bit about the event logistics and a couple more things, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So this event is going to happen for 7 days, starting Monday in the US time zone, and similarly, whatever the time zone happens for the Indian friends. And we will go up to Sunday, August 16th. So 7 days we will experiment. In this experiment, I will share the instructions so you get some framework to listen, framework to work on your witnessing daily via WhatsApp. So I'm going to send it across. You'll be part of a group. I will share the group link in a moment. So you're going to get those instructions and you're going to try them on your real life. No theory, nothing. You simply work on it. Once you work on that, you are going to share that in the WhatsApp group. Some people are not so good at writing, so you can simply press that button to record the sound, and you can speak either in Hindi or English. Doesn't really matter. Short, maybe a minute or two, as to what happened to me. This incident happened inside me. I felt this, and then I was watching, and while I was watching, this started to happen to me, and I continued to watch, and this is my current state. Something like that. Or this happened to me, I got really angry or annoyed or happy, and I didn't realize that I was intending to witness until 2 hours later. That could happen, or 2 days later, God knows. We are so much asleep that during the day, many things happens, and we're not even aware of what really happened. It's so mechanical. You realize that. And that, at the very least, if you realize that we are mechanical and so mechanical, the action happens, and even after the action has happened, maybe a day later or many hours later, we became aware of what happened. That understanding, that witnessing that I was not a witnesser, I was mechanical, that will be the first victory against mechanicalness in us. That will be the first victory towards awakening our consciousness. So, nothing wrong. That will happen and it is bound to happen. But learning that from yourself is the first learning that has any value. Any other learning that you read from book or listen from anywhere is a borrowed learning. That is what Osho says. The real learning, the real knowledge is learning about us, learning about what is happening here. That is the most important one. And I hope you'll be able to get that taste. Within 7 days, I guarantee all of us will have the taste of that one way versus the other. The only thing I request you is to communicate. Now, there are people from different parts of the world. Obviously, you may feel uncomfortable to communicate. We will create a confidentiality clause. So, in the group, when people join, everybody's going to agree to the fact that anything that is discussed in this group remains confidential. They cannot share that electronically or verbally to anybody else. So, we will do that agreement. So, feel okay because this is a group work, it's a sangha. We're working together. So you feel okay to share. And as you share, you'll become more and more confident. And you'll realize that what you are sharing is really not a big secret that happens only with you. It happens to 99.9% people, all of us in some ways or other. So you will feel more confident in the process. And then we will also meet every day, same time, just like we met, 9 p.m. US Eastern Time or 6:30 a.m. India time. Every day we will meet. It is up to you whether you want to join or not. In the event, we will simply take sharing a little bit more because some people might not be able to communicate well. But in the sharing, when people share what happened, there will be a reflection. I'll reflect on that, share a few things about what Master has said. And my experience is that you'll find that extremely beneficial, even more beneficial than you're witnessing, because in witnessing you're alone and you're trying it out. It's not very clear yet, it's hazy. But when you listen to others sharing and you share in the group and there's a reflection, it becomes very, very clear and it'll help for further witnessing in a much clearer manner. So that's what we will do. And the link will remain there, same link, and we'll provide that. On the last day, just as Osho has taught us, the key messages are love, celebration, and meditation. So the last day, which is August 16th, Sunday, we'll meet same time, 9 o'clock US Eastern Time, but that day we will celebrate. We'll dance, we'll listen to Osho, we'll have virtual hugs and gratitude to each other for creating this Sangha, creating this forum in which we can actually have some taste of awareness in our real life, witnessing in real life. And then the last thing I want to mention here is there's no fee for the event. Some people have asked me a couple of times, there is no fee. Not today, not for the entire 7 days as well. What is the sign-up process? The sign-up process is very, very simple. I will provide that in the chat here as well. All you have to do is you have to click on this link and it will take you to a WhatsApp group that I've created. It's called Osho Witnessing WhatsApp group. And you will be part of the group. As soon as you join, you will see that there are other people as well. And by Sunday night, I will request everybody to agree to the confidentiality agreement. And then we will get started with the assignment, with the experiments and instructions that I will provide. We'll start the activity of witnessing from the morning of Monday morning. And if you don't, if you're not able to click on this link for whatever reason, you can always message me. I'll show you my contact number one more time, and I can include you in the group. Like I was mentioning before, when you're part of this group, it is confidential. because we are working on real life and we are working on real life to transform. Working hypothetically will not happen. That will not do anything. So we need to work on real life, but then when we are working real life, we have to respect each other's privacy and confidentiality. So I will ask everybody to make sure they agree to that clause. So with that, I'm really looking forward to this virtual Sangha to work together as a friend group and bring meditation to real life and live with awareness and witnessing. So let me just share this slide that has my contact address. So you probably know already my number, but it's available, or you can email me if you need it. There's a YouTube channel as well, where there are various recording of meditation event I post. So if you could like, that'll be great, because then more and more things when I share, you will be able to get that directly as well. And there's a Facebook link as well. I'm going to put these links right now in the chat, especially the group information where you'll be joining. But I will now open it up for Q&A, for questions that you may have. So let me do that. Okay, while I post it, please go ahead and ask any questions you have. You can just simply open, you can simply unmute yourself and ask questions or comments or whatever you have to say. So that's the link I provided. You can use that link to join the group that I mentioned. And I'm going to put my contact information as well. Give me a second. I'm going to put my contact information as well. All right, I did that. Friends, I'm waiting for any question, comment, concern. I see somebody is unmuted. If you have a question, comment, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I thank you, and I really liked how you've structured this program for us. I was wondering regarding sharing experiences and challenge, is that something we do throughout the day as and when it comes? Like,
Yes, very good question. I could not get the name of the person. Would you mind saying your name?
yeah, my name is Samasati.
Satish. Thank you very much. Yes, it is to be done exactly when it happened and you witness right after that. Even if it is very small, that is okay. That is less important as to how detailed you go. It's more important to share immediately for a number of reasons. Somebody. It is important that you share immediately, because what will happen otherwise is your mind is going to edit what really happened and how you want to share. You protect yourself, and then you're not sharing clearly. And by not sharing clearly, you're not really harming others, you're harming yourself. Because this inner journey is such that if you have the mask around you, that mask is going to be your barrier to go inside. You will not be able to go inside. You need total authenticity. The moment you're authentic, that is the first step towards going inside, and it will take you deeper and deeper. So it is a very good question that you share that.
To share it immediately.
Yes.
Okay. And don't edit it too much.
Yes, don't edit it. It's okay. We are friends, and we are creating the confidentiality clause. And who doesn't have the same problem? I told you about the problem that I had this morning with the car mechanic. It's not a big spiritual problem. These are real life problems. But
Okay.
where the diamond is. So let's work on this.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else has a question, comments? I'm also going to invite some people that have worked with me in the past, and if they have something they want to share because they have participated in such a group, so it might make sense as well. So I know there are a few people that worked with me in the past, so if you want to share, please go ahead.
Swami
Hey, Pranam,
Vivek.
Swamiji.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
One person go ahead, and now both people stop.
this is Baba. Baba bowing in.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, so good to see you here.
It is so nice to join you. I just wonder, there are almost 25 people and almost none of them are showing their faces. It would be really nice, since we are going to be as a group, as a Sangha, that we see each other. Or if everybody is anonymous, then I will switch it off, which would make me feel much more comfortable without seeing myself. So I wonder if what is your feeling on that?
Yeah, that's really good point. I would encourage everyone if you can actually come on camera now because we are here together. We are friends, and seeing each other just makes it a little bit easier to connect with each other. So I see some people have started to already do that. I request you to do that, please. There you are. I see Seth. I see Samasati obviously was there. Suresh ji, Minal. I see many people have done that. There's some more people that haven't done. If you could do that, that'll be awesome. And also in the future groups as well. Because we are friends. There's nothing
Yes.
to hide from each other. We are working together in an inner journey. And if we can't be showing our face to your point, Boa, then we are not confident here to work together. There you go. I see so many people.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Boba.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. So, Swamiji, I think you're going to go and share.
Yes, so just to share that I have been part of the witnessing group before, and the primary experience being that witnessing usually does not happen naturally, and we have not really, at least for myself, I can say that I have always been doing things without even realizing. Uh, but even while witnessing, there were times when uh, I completely lost connect with what I'm trying to look at, and going back in terms of how I should have witnessed it is probably something that I learned mostly on the group. So it has been helpful before, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it just takes us to here and now, the moment we start to witness. And every moment is a brand new moment. What happened in the past, whether that witnessing happened, then don't continue that anyone because then you're living in the past. Or if it didn't happen, don't live, right? Every moment is a brand new moment. And I'll share my witnessing a little bit so that it opens up more in you. Some people probably have heard this one from me. There was a day, I think it was probably a year and a half ago, when I was working, doing office work from home. And there's a cycle of performance management for people that work in the office, they know. Every year there's a performance cycle and you get evaluated and some people get raised, promotions, all kind of things. And then I see that here's another person that was a peer of mine, got promoted. And the jealousy kicked in. It really kicked in, but I was aware. So what I did is I closed my eyes, my hands were on the keyboard, and I didn't move. I just froze there, completely froze there. And I started looking inside the feelings, the thoughts, without taking side, whether this is good, this is bad, I should not be doing this, I'm a meditator, how can I be jealous? None of those. Simply watching the energy movement, the flow, how it was happening inside me. And it took 2 to 3 hours. I think it was like 2.5 or so. I was frozen like that and simply watching inside. And in that watching, in that 2.5 hour, the depth of meditation that I was able to go into, it is unbelievable and amazing. And the peace that happened, the transformation of the energy that was jealous, and it was pungent, and it was, why not me? All those questioning mind and jealousy, they subsided as if, think about a cyclone has passed. When the cyclone was there, it devastated everything. And when the cyclone passed, it's a complete peace and serene energy. It was so beautiful to watch it. We're going to do that in your life. So don't be afraid that something comes up. Oh, I shouldn't be saying this. I'm a meditator. No, you are capable to share it because you have courage. Meditation, friends, awareness takes immense courage. You can go in a party and put up the fake mask and say, how are you? Oh, yes, I'm really good. Yeah, my life is exciting. And then really deep inside you're crying. Okay, so meditation is almost you are naked to yourself. It is transparent, it is authenticity. That's what we bring in together. We are all friends and we all have exactly similar problems. So don't withhold back. Don't try to become an ascetic that I'm a meditator now. That's it, my level has increased. That's the same mind that you're trying to chase something, position, money, whatever you're chasing. That's the same mind that's chasing in a meditation. Now I want to be known like this. Drop all this bullshit and be ordinary. Some new friends.
I'm happy about the structure system. That's going to really increase my awareness muscles. At times, unknowingly, I'm more in the mind, and I catch myself at times. Forgetfulness is there, remembrances, few moments. But a structure system where there are going to be assignments and there's going to be a commitment aligned to it. That's something which is good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
No, you're welcome. This is the reason why, first of all, there's Sangha. If Sangha was not needed, Buddha would not create Sangha. Osho would not create Sangha. Sangha is needed, otherwise we cannot work on our own. It is very hard. Yes, life gives everything. Osho says you don't need any master. If you take existence as your master, every moment it will give you the exact thing that you need towards your enlightenment. But we are incapable of that. We are totally incapable. And that's why we need a Sangha. That's why we need a master. And that creates the bonding, that creates the energy so that we can actually be aware and work ourselves. So absolutely, it is needed.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Very nice.
Thanks for creating it. I have one more follow-up question. So I was wondering, so these next 7 days, we basically spend our normal life, right? Like if we are meditating, we continue to do that. We continue with everything like our work and everything else that's going on, right? That's what my understanding is so far.
Absolutely. No changes to your life except moments you're becoming aware. So if you go and I'm giving you as not as you, but normally, if you ask somebody that gossips when you have 5 friends, go and gossip. But this time it is going to be different.
Nice, yeah.
Gossiping, but something is witnessing as to what you're saying. But just don't evaluate that, hey, gossiping is wrong. Don't do that. Simply watch. The first step of any scientific activity is to observe. Without observation, science does not come to any conclusion. Observation is an external object that science does. The same observation in the spiritual path is witnessing. If you don't witness, nothing will happen. Now, there's a difference. When you observe, you get knowledge as to how world works. Newton found out that gravitational force is there. Now, that knowledge is transferable. Newton discovered it. We don't need to discover it again. It's not like I need to go to the backyard and find an apple tree and then figure it out. Oh, there's gravity. No. Once that knowledge has been created, it can be transferred. The inside, what happens is when you witness, there is something happens that you can call as knowledge, but it is really your awareness. And that awareness is not transferable. Nobody can transfer to anyone, including Osho. Otherwise, we could have got enlightened just because we are Osho sannyasis. It is not transferable. There is more to talk about that. There's a lot of depth we can talk about this, but it is suffice to know that without witnessing, nothing will happen.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rasik Swamiji,
हाँ स्वामी
कुछ कहो?
I'm very happy कि आपने वापस you started again after 21 days. I'm missing this moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be very great to go again.
Yeah. And friends, this is like a play. Don't make it too serious either, right? Don't make it too serious. Be playful. If you are angry and you've been somebody that get triggered on something, be angry. The world will not shatter. Just because you get angry tomorrow, the world will not shatter at all. But by witnessing your anger, something will transform inside. That is the alchemy. That is the alchemy we're looking for. And witnessing leads to no mind. I have a discourse. We don't have more time today. I'm going to send that 6-minute discourse in English so you can learn about how witness leads to no mind status. But witnessing is the first step.
Okay, cool.
We have a few more minutes. I'd like to wrap it up in about 4 or 5 minutes. So if people have any other question or comments, please let us know. अगर किसी को हिंदी में पूछना है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, कुछ कहना है तो आप कह सकते हैं. I speak both Hindi and English, so there's no problem. So if you are not comfortable with English for whatever reason, you feel more connected with Hindi, it's okay. आप हिंदी में भी कह सकते हैं. Okay, so I think we have the questions that we had, people have asked. Can somebody confirm that they have received the chat information as to how to join the group? I have posted in the chat. You can see it, right?
Yes, and I was able to join right now too.
Okay, excellent. All right, friends. Let me thank you. Thank you very much for considering to come together and work together. It takes lifetime. Osho says it takes lifetime to turn into meditation. And then it takes further to really start working together as a group and really, really work with yourself in real life, not in concept, real life. So your consideration and your 1 hour that you spent here, much appreciated. And thank you very much. And for the people that will join, we will work together. You will get the messages directly from the WhatsApp, and we will meet from Monday night, US night, again, every day, and we will chat together just as friends. All right. Thank you very much. Take care.
Love you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.